Local lawmakers are using the winter break to prepare for the upcoming session, which resumes in February. Earlier this week, we heard from DFL State Senator Ann Rest of New Hope. Today in Newsmakers, Shannon Slatton sits down with Representative Kristin Robbins of Maple Grove. One of the hot topics for Republicans this session, the budget.
It's very troubling to see that the state had a $17.5 billion surplus, and this coming end of the fiscal year we're in right now, there will still be a small budget surplus of $2.4 billion, which is historically large, but given what we just spent, it's small. And then the forecast shows that in the next budget cycle, we'll be in a $2.3 billion deficit. So as we predicted, the enormous spending of this last session, a 38% increase in state government, has set us up for future deficits. It's reckless, fiscally irresponsible, and now we are already seeing that in the numbers.
All right, last session was fast and furious, so you think that's going to put some brakes on this session?
I do. I mean, Speaker Hortman at the budget rollout was saying that, we have to be cautious. The governor said we should be measured. I think the majority is realizing that they way overspent this session, and everything they put in place has not even hit the books yet. The Office of Cannabis Management, the $400 million for the new paid family leave office, the state renovation of the state office building. It's a bonding bill, but because of the type of bonding it is, it's going to be paid like rent out of the general fund. So none of that has actually even hit the books yet. So I think they realize they have to be very cautious.
All right, moving forward. One other issue we wanted to ask you about is school resource officers. That's been in the news as well. Where do you stand on that?
I'm fully supportive of getting school resource officers back in the districts. In our district, half of our schools have them, half of them don't. And I hear from parents and students who really want to get the SROs back. There's a student-driven petition at Osseo High School because they miss the SROs and they value the stability that they brought to the school. So I've been working with Chief Warner here at the Maple Grove Police Department and other leaders to craft some language for the next session. And I believe we'll hopefully get a hearing right away. The majority had said, oh, well, we'll make this a priority next session. They've promised a hearing, but they haven't promised action, and that's very concerning to us. So I encourage parents and school leaders to continue to keep the pressure on when we go back into session.
Are you optimistic for this next session?
I'm always optimistic. So, I think that there are a lot of policy changes that we see where things didn't work well in the last session because of how rushed it was. So I'm hoping we can have some serious policy fixes, and I hope that we can keep a lid on spending. I know we're getting requests all the time, and there are so many needs, which is why I'm so frustrated about spending $730 million on the renovation of the state office building. That money could be used so many other areas where the state really has needs. So I'm hoping that we can bring some common sense and some fiscal responsibility to the legislature and get out of there with some policy wins.
All right, it's going to be busy. Representative Kristin Robbins, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
Find more local news stories at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.